Leading off the night, please welcome to the Elevate stage the young professor, Matt Graifer.
Daytona Beach, make some noise, everybody. You all ready to get this thing started? Then I'm going to need your help before we start. In just a moment, I'm going to say 2 words to you, and I need you to yell them back at me as loud as you can. We're going to do this twice. One of them is to start, and one of them is going to be shortly after. But when I yell the words, "one fall," I need you to yell, "one fall," back to me. Everybody got it? Ladies and gentlemen, your opening Elevate Daytona speech is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Death Valley, weighing in at 328 pounds, the Undertaker. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Graifer, a.k.a. the Young Professor. And for the better part of a decade, I was a real college professor, and I'm also an announcer in boxing, MMA, and professional wrestling. Tonight, I'm here to show you how your life is nothing but a classic professional wrestling match scheduled for one fall. First, let's establish a few key terms. Wrestling at its core is a battle of good versus evil. Good guys in wrestling are known as baby faces, and bad guys are known as heels. There are 5 elements to a classic professional wrestling match and 5 elements in life: the entrance, the shine, the heat, the comeback, and the finish. Now, for the sake of tonight's discussion, we're going to assume that all of you are baby faces in your match. And when we're born, that's exactly the way that we're treated. A baby face making his or her grand entrance. And when the bell rings, we then go into the shine. This is the part of the match early on where the baby face is in complete control. In life, our shine would be our milestones, your first words, first steps, potty training, sports trophies, proms, graduations, all the feel-good moments that are typical of most people's life stories early on. But this wrestling match we're talking about requires 2 key players, and if you are the baby face, then let's go ahead and say that life and its circumstances are the heel. Now, during the shine, we're always one step ahead until we're not. When life takes the upper hand by cutting us off, we then go into the heat. Now, the heat is oftentimes the longest part of the match, and it's where the babyface is truly tested. Now, I don't care who you are or where you come from, babyfaces. You have all experienced this part of the match where the heel is taking it to you. You might be experiencing it now. Failing out of school is like having a sleeper hold applied. A divorce or loss of a loved one, well, that's an intentional low blow when the referee isn't looking. Losing a job, well, that's just the heel putting you into a single-leg crab. All of these situations, these tragedies, and these wrestling maneuvers are designed to break your spirit and wear you down so that you can't continue. And some of them are pretty devastating. But the heat isn't entirely one-sided. A good wrestling match has several hope spots. In life, some of the hope spots we have are things like college graduations, marriages, births, a new job. They are us trying to regain control before life, that dastardly heel, cuts us off again. But those hope spots are essential because they show the heel, they show the crowd, and they show us that we're still in this thing. Now, the heat can be pretty devastating, but in a classic match, there's always what comes next: a second win, a changing of the tide, and we call this the comeback. Now, this is where the match truly peaks. The babyface still selling the damage done during the heat shows that despite all that damage, all of those scars, all of those bad memories, we can still fight. Now, after the comeback, we go straight into the finish. Now, this term is self-explanatory. This is how the match ends. Sometimes the babyface goes straight through their comeback, hits his or her finisher, and comes out on top, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes the heel sees an opening, cuts us off one more time, and they win. But let's break the fourth wall for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Wrestling is predetermined. A booker of the match decides who will win and who will lose. So my challenge to you here, Daytona, is to be your own booker and determine your own finish. Will you win or will you lose this match? I can tell you that throughout history, wrestling's biggest baby faces have always found a way to win, even in the most trying circumstances. In your life, take inspiration from wrestling's biggest baby faces. Never quit and always find a way to come out on top. Folks, I'm here to tell you tonight that professional wrestling is not fake. Wrestling is storytelling. It is a method of storytelling that many people thumb their nose at because they choose not to understand it. Professional wrestling is athletic performance art of the finest kind, with two athletes telling stories of remarkable redemption and of crushing defeat. How will your match end? Will you wind up at the end of the night crowned the new heavyweight champion of the world? Or will you be left lying at the bright lights of the arena for 3 straight seconds? Just like in professional wrestling, the finish is entirely up to you. Thank you, everybody.